I am somebody. I am somebody who is descended from Africans who were brought to this country over 400 years ago. And they were intelligent and creative and witty and talented. But they were judged not by any of those attributes. They were judged and continue to be judged by the color of their skin. We all have a story to tell. Here's mine. I am somebody. I'm the daughter of a man who believed that dinner was to be served at 6 p.m. sharp. Each place setting was to have a fork, a knife, and a spoon, whether they were needed or not, because that was the proper way to eat. He also required that we use a knife and a fork when eating pizza or fried chicken. Have you ever tried eating a fried chicken wing with a knife and a fork? In my family, we had something we called the 1969 Fried Chicken Rebellion. That's another story. I'll tell you later. I am the daughter of Major Henry William Bolden, Jr., who was among 5 African Americans who graduated with the class of from Officers Candidate School in 1946. It was a proud day. But that pride turned to utter disappointment when those African American newly minted officers learned that they were not allowed to attend the graduation ceremony because it was to be held in a white-only officers' club. The Army was completely segregated until 1948. My father told me his proudest moment was when I turned 18 and he took me to the polls to vote. We had to get up really early because my father, he insisted that he be at the polls when they opened. He always wanted to be first in line. So I got up early and went with him, and I will never forget the look on his face when my father stepped aside to let me, his oldest child, vote first. I've never missed an election since. My father said that children were on this earth to wake up early, not waste time, get good grades, go to college, graduate college, get a job with a good career and a pension. And I did all that. And then I quit to become a professional storyteller. I didn't even tell my father to his face. I called him on the phone. I knew I didn't want to look at his expression. My father had plans for me as his oldest child, and I knew that quitting my good, solid job to become a professional storyteller was not in the book. I am the daughter of Helena, whom my father lovingly called Schatzi. It was German for sweetheart. My mother was an African-American woman who had light skin. My father had brown skin. When they married in 1949, some people mistakenly thought that their union was an interracial marriage. Not only was it taboo, it was illegal in 29 states. It was a long time before I understood my mother's disdain for people who judged her without ever getting to know anything about her. My mother told me that there were 2 keys to a successful marriage. Soft feet. Got it. 39 years of soft feet. And long hair. John likes me at any length. And I like me with short hair. Enough said. John is wonderful and warm and kind and generous. He has impeccable fashion sense, and he has a laugh that will make anyone around him laugh with him. And we have 2 sons, 2 fine sons, but sons that we had to sit down and have the talk. The talk. African Americans know what the talk is. It's not one conversation. It's many conversations over many years. It's a talk to protect our children against ignorant people and the police. When our son started driving, if you get pulled over, keep both hands on the wheel. If the policeman asks you for your ID, ask permission before you reach into your pocket to pull out your license. Refer to the policeman as sir, even though we don't use that term at home. Look, sons, the policeman may not know that you're an honor student. He doesn't know that you are kind and warm and friendly. He doesn't know that you give great hugs. He may only see you as a black boy. He does not know that you are somebody. I am somebody. I'm the daughter of a matriarchal woman. She and my grandfather held the family together with strong values and morals. And during the 1 year when my father was sent to Vietnam and my mother and my sisters and I lived with my grandparents, my wonderful grandmother made me take a teaspoon of cod liver oil 2 times a week in the wintertime. Have you tasted cod liver oil? I hope you have not tasted cod liver oil. It is horrific. I'd rather chew on the dead head of a fish. It's horrible going down, but the worst part, it comes back up all day long as burps. You try being in a new school, in a new state, in 7th grade, trying to make friends while you're burping cod liver oil all day long. You try it. I am somebody. I'm the granddaughter of a man born in 1898 in Guyton, Georgia. His mother was a 14-year-old African-American teenager. She was a sharecropper. His father was the white man that owned the land that she worked on. It was not a consensual relationship. My grandfather's mother died in childbirth, and the father, like all other white men, never acknowledged their responsibility. So my grandfather was raised by a village. He told me at age 15 he left Guyton, Georgia, and walked all the way to New Jersey to seek a better life. My grandmother said he took the train. It's a good thing, too, because on the train he saw men who looked like him, men wearing suits, navy blue suits with brass buttons and shiny black shoes. And right then my grandfather knew that he too wanted to become a Pullman porter. It was a hard job. He didn't get much respect, but he was able to have a good middle-class life for his family, and he became a wonderful father and grandfather. There are so many stories. I have more. But I'm not looking back right now. I'm looking forward. This is the year 2020. For generations, African Americans have been marching and protesting and kneeling and turning the other cheek and singing songs. And what has changed? Not enough. Certainly not enough. Our 2 sons now are grown. They're men, black men. They have to still be careful. They have to make sure that their phones are charged before they go out so their cameras are always ready. Anwar is an avid cyclist. John and I worry that one day he may cycle into a park, stop, take out binoculars, look at birds, and have a confrontation like Christian Cooper. Jamal runs marathons. What if Jamal is running past a house under construction and stops to take a peek, like we all do, right? And is murdered, like Ahmaud Arbery? What if our children are on the ground screaming that they can't breathe and they're suffocated, like Eric Gardner and George Floyd? How long are we going to sing the same songs, march the same marches? When are things going to change? We expect our children to walk strong and tall and proud because of their heritage, because of their stories. Should we worry and be afraid that they could be punished like the two Olympians, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, who raised their fist in protest? We worry. We worry that they may be chastised and lose their jobs for kneeling in silent protest like Colin Kaepernick. I am somebody. I am somebody who is angry. I am somebody who is overwhelmed. I am somebody who cries. But I am also somebody who is optimistic. I am somebody who votes.